Good morning, this is Mona and this is my morning view. Today, summer edition 2025, it is July 22nd. This summer is flying. It's half over for me. I get the summer off and it's half over. So, yes, it is flying. So today, it is Tips Tuesday. Tips Tuesday is the day that I bring you a little nugget of something. Little nugget, that's it. It's nothing, mind-blowing. It's nothing that you probably haven't already heard before. It's those tips that, they're worth repeating because they're true. They help. They possibly help you to be a better person, a better version of yourself, not somebody else. You don't want to be somebody else, and you don't want to be doing things just because somebody else does it. It's what works for you, and how does it work for you. So today, well, that in itself is a tip. What is it that's uniquely about you that helps you to become a better version of yourself? And all we can do is give tips for you to try. So you can try it, and then if you don't, it's just not you. It's just like, And I'm not saying that it wouldn't be difficult. I'm not saying that you would be you wouldn't be inconvenienced. When you try to make a better version of yourself, your self that you are resists against it. So because you resist it, it becomes more difficult than it really actually is. And so there you are saying, oh, this is too hard, this isn't me, this isn't what, it's not worth doing. And in reality, you just have to move past that resistant point. Because once you move past that resistant point, it becomes easier. Have you ever played tug-of-war? And you have that area that, here's the center, and then there's this area. And you're pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and it just keeps going like this, back and forth, back and forth. And then all of a sudden, somehow somebody gets momentum, and they dig in their heels and they say, we're going to get this done. And they pull it a little farther. And the other team's like, no, and they pull it back just a little bit, but they still can't get it past to that middle mark or beyond. So this side gets more determined, and they dig in deeper, and they put more muscle to it, and they're like, and it gets really close to the other side, but then they're able to bring it back just a little, and it's like, we're going to win this because we're getting momentum, but they haven't brought it back to the middle yet. They're still on this side. They're still more on this side than they are on this side. So they have to put in more effort into getting it pulled back. And sometimes the other team gets a little cocky and too sure of themselves, and the other team can just go, but then there are times when that team gets even more determined. They know that their opponent is not an easy task, so that they have to pull again. So they pull yet again, and it reaches that point. Even though this is not where the line is, it has reached the point where they know it's theirs. And as soon as it gets to that certain point, everybody on this side of they all let go of the rope. And they're like, because they gave up. They're like, we're not fighting this because we know that they pretty much won the game. And so that's kind of like how our self is in regards to the better version of ourselves. The better version of ourselves is digging their feet into the ground saying, we are going to win this. And I know you're struggling to keep it so that you don't change. But if we're not changing, if we're not growing, if we're not moving, then we die. We die to dreams, we die to visions. We could actually physically die. So in this day that I was going to give you a tip about something completely different, I'm going to give you a tip to don't resist your future self. Don't resist the better version of you becoming. Don't resist that part of yourself that, yeah, I'm okay. I don't need to change. I don't need anything different about me. I love myself as I am. And that is true. You need to love yourself as you are. You do. But you also need to recognize that you need to continue to grow. And if you don't grow, well, what happens to a plant that decides it's not going to grow anymore? I think I'll leave it with that. The tip is not to resist your future self, to become a greater version of yourself. I didn't say a better version of yourself. I said a greater version than yourself. We all grow into becoming. But what are we growing to becoming of? Are we becoming something greater? Are we becoming something not so great? Or we just stopped? Nah, I'm good. I encourage you not to stop. I encourage you to become a greater version of yourself. I encourage you to dig in your heels. And sometimes your current self comes kicking and screaming. All right. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. And before I go, I almost forgot. Go to YouTube. Mona E. Harrison. It's different than my Facebook profile. Go to Mona E. Harrison. Like, subscribe right there, around right there. Like, subscribe, and hit notifications. Share if you find the content is valuable. Get all the bells and whistles. All right? Do the same here. There's no subscribe button. There's no notifications button. But at least like, share, and comment. Especially comment. I like to have interaction. I would like to hear what you think, what you're saying. Even if you disagree, it's okay. All right. Now I can let you go. Now I can say, see you later. See you tomorrow for Wonderful Wednesday. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.